What up, y'all? You tuned into the Podjunkie podcast. I am your host, Nisi. And unfortunately, Coco could not be here with us for tonight. So I got my girl sitting next to me, which is...
Denise, Toy, Miss Pretty Shooter, whatever you want to call me.
That's right. And
Keisha, baby, welcome.
And joining us, we have two official special guests in the building. We have Miss Veronica Cooper. She is known as Miss V. She is the owner of Culture Coffee 2. As well as we have Miss Shari Miles Cohen. And she's a research psychologist, author, and advocate specializing in the analysis of social, behavioral, and economic factors that help women and girls lead healthier lives. What a excellent title.
Thank you.
Yes. Absolutely. So we are so happy to have you guys here.
Yes, we are.
So jumping right into it, can you explain to the public a little bit more of what it is that you do and, what event that you have coming?
So Ms. V and I are hosting Coffee, Tea, and Me. It's an evening to have women in the community come out and learn about self-care strategies to take better care of themselves.
Okay.
All
Awesome.
right.
So jumping right into it.
Yes.
Nikisha and I, we just had this conversation literally last week where she wanted to really discuss the importance of mental health and mental illness. So what I want to know starting off is, why is mental health so important?
Because it affects everything that happens in our lives. If we don't take good care of our mental health, we end up with chronic stress. We don't sleep well. We don't eat well. We have bad relationships. Our mental health affects everything that we do.
So do you see that as the leading cause of why most of us, especially African Americans, we are like tremendously stressed out? Like we're so all over the place.
Well, I think one of the reasons why African Americans are stressed out is because of racism, and that impacts our mental health.
Definitely.
You got
That is deep. That is deep. I didn't expect that, but that got deep real quick. Yeah.
We don't like to say it like that, but unfortunately, that's the world we live in. And I think you said it as blunt and as quickly as possible. The racism is chronic right now. You see the president putting out racial slurs, and then it's become a worldwide epidemic, even though it's already been. But now people are publicly
exposed.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
It is, and we don't often give ourselves permission to turn off the TV, turn off the radio, turn off the electronics, where we're constantly being bombarded with these bad messages.
Social media, turn it off sometimes.
Turn it off sometimes.
But it's hard because it's so addictive.
It is.
So you feel like if you turn your phones off,
you're missing something.
If you don't check your social media page, then, oh my gosh, I'm missing information.
Right.
And my husband and I, we just had a conversation last night because I've noticed like literally every 5 minutes I'm picking up my phone. And he was like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my God, I don't realize that I'm doing that because it's become so addictive.
Right. So do you think with social media being as big as it is now, that it adds more to it, far as, because, now with social media, a lot of people, they compare, a lot of people say, and they look at other people's pages and think that, oh, well, they got it easy, or, just from the pictures, you paint your own picture of what this person's life is or whatever. So you think now with social media being as big as it is, that is more of it?
Oh, I absolutely think so. I mean, I tell my son all the time, we run together. And sometimes we're out running and then somebody just like blasts past us. They're just running so fast. And he's like, Mom, we need to speed up. We need to run faster. We're not in good shape. And I tell him, you don't know where that person's journey started. You don't know if they've been running for 10 minutes and we've been running for an hour, or if they've been running for an hour and we've been running for 10 minutes, right? Everybody's got their own journey. And it's hard to be reminded that to not compare yourself to other people when you're constantly seeing it on social media. You have no idea whether these people are actually putting information on that's actually real.
Right.
And it's just something to remind yourself of, or to have your friends remind you of, right?
It's always good to have their failures.
Right. Well, that's what they say.
And we all have
highs,
them.
No one posts the lows, so you.
But are you really supposed to post your failures? Like, would that be?
Oh, I don't know that you need to post your failures. I think you just need to remember that everybody has them, right? Yeah.
So I have a question. Normally, when you're facing depression or you're stressed out, typically, and you don't realize you're in a downward spiral, do mentally ill people know that they are mentally ill, and like, do they get to the point where it's I know I need help?
Were you about to say something, Ms. B?
Well, the reason why we're having this event is because of that same issue. As you know, I'm the owner of Culture Coffee too, and I'm there pretty much 24 hours, so I get a lot of people coming to talk to me. I have a certain spot in my shop. I call it the therapy corner because I'm constantly getting people in coming to lay their troubles, and that was bad word, troubles, but they just like to come tell me about their self and how they're feeling. I'm not at all equipped to handle this.
Right.
So I have people, especially sisters, come in because we tend to talk more. We tend to express ourselves more.
Right.
And they come and they tell me how depressed they are and how anxiety they have. And I'm going like, I don't have none of this.
Right.
So, but I'm grateful that I don't. So one particular sister came and she was real kind of stressed that day. And I said, well, would it help if I do a workshop or a pop-up or a meeting? Because I do a lot of that, as you know. She said, yeah, I think so. I said, well, okay. So I reached out to a sister that's on Facebook who is also a psychologist. She was not picking up any more events. So I said, okay. But she did tell me whenever you have these events, please have professionals there. Well, I knew I wasn't that professional.
Right.
So I just kind of waited around. Okay, somebody's going to show up because Culture Coffee is magic. Everybody that comes to there gets their needs met, including me.
Right.
If I put it out there, it comes through that door, okay? So I'm working Saturday, and here comes Shari. Now, I didn't know her, and she didn't know me. Her husband had been in there several times, and she was asking for a cake. We sell cakes, and I told her to give me her card so I can give it to the cake person. And on this card, it was like, oh, my God. I need you.
That's exactly what you said.
And that's when she reached out to us, and I was like, yes, it
Perfect.
worked out so
It
perfect.
did.
Just like that. It's like that in Culture Coffee. So I said, please wait. I need to talk to you. Give me 5 minutes to get this sandwich done. And we sat, and within 15 minutes, she said, oh, this is wonderful. I told her what I wanted to do. I told her the need that I felt that was coming through my shop and what I wanted to do for my community, because I constantly give to the community. And I wanted to do this workshop, and here you are, just coming through the door. And she was like so happy. And she said, yeah, this is a good idea. Let me go see if I can have my boss sponsor this. Just like that. Just like that. And I am so appreciative. And it just kept going. And here we are having our event, Coffee, Tea, and Me on Thursday. Sold out in 3 days.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sold out with a waiting list, a serious waiting list.
Wow.
Yes. This tells us, and she said, we need this.
Yeah.
We need this.
Because we're
Definitely.
facing an epidemic.
Yes.
It is running so
We need to
rampant,
talk
and we
about
don't know
it.
how to
Yeah.
deal with the amount of stress.
And
That's right.
Culture Coffee is at the heart of gentrification. They
Yes.
said she is right next door, guys, to the Walmart.
Trying to hold it down
Ridge
for us.
Road.
Holding
and if
it
you
down.
know that area, it is been gentrified, meaning they are building stuff and they're doing this and doing that.
All
and
that.
It looks nice, but then you have to ask yourself, is the community, are they still present? Are they still there? A lot
I'm
of the
there.
community
I'm the
has
community.
not- Miss B is there. You got to go check it out, y'all.
I build community.
Right,
That's
right.
amazing.
I build
right.
community. That's one reason why they asked me
Truly.
to come, because they know I build communities.
Right.
I bring art, I bring music, I bring people together. I network, I get people together, I connect people.
Awesome.
And I'm just grateful that I have that gift. It is a gift
Right.
to be able to sit and build a community out of nothing and put a community within the community.
Right.
And so Culture Coffee is a community within the community.
community.
Yes.
Right.
And people come there every day seeking something. Coffee is on the side right now.
Right,
Coffee is the
right.
sidebar.
I'm just glad
Yes.
that
It's
people
more so
are
therapeutic because people want to talk.
right.
Exactly.
Like,
And
they
that's
just
what I was about
wanna
to
get it
say.
out, and they just
Right.
don't want to be judged. It's just more so, let me just have a one-on-one conversation.
Exactly.
Just
Right,
kind of
right.
Express how I
And
feel.
people are not more before, I think people were more embarrassed to speak about it, but
Yes,
now
our
people are
community.
more open, and it's good that people are stepping out of that and getting more comfortable with speaking about things that they're going through, or
Right.
the troubles that they're having. Because now I do see on social media people come and be like, I'm depressed or I'm this and that.
A lot of
And
depression.
I'm just like, I'm glad that people are speaking up more. We're all not therapists, but at least we can be that ear or just give a little word to somebody. And I have a story because last weekend I was in the Shoppers and we were standing in this line. I'm like, Dad, this line's taking a long time. And it was a lady in front of us. It was a lady and her son. And, he's ringing up her stuff, but he's telling her, he's like, okay, you get into this limit. All right, well, you get into that limit. And he was like, you went over your limit. And she just started crying. She was like, I can't do this. I'm having a bad day. I just can't do this. And I was like, ma'am, I'll pay for your food. I'm like, you don't have much. Just let me pay for it. She couldn't even look me in my face. And I'm just like, man, I just wanted to give her a hug. And I'm like, I just don't want you to feel embarrassed, but I get where she's coming from. And I'm just like, man, our people are facing so many
much.
obstacles, and some of these people are facing these obstacles alone.
Right.
And it was just her and her son. And I just looked, I said, dang, and she still had to go get in the Uber. Like, I'm just like, dang, I feel for her. She said thank you and everything, but she was so embarrassed to look at me. And I'm just like, oh my God, my heart just crushed. And I'm like, I just want us to get this out in the community that it's okay. It's okay to have your bad days. It's okay to feel bad. It's nothing wrong with feeling that way. But because we have hid it for so long and never really talked about it, that people are still embarrassed to talk about it.
So
Be
this is going
open.
to be part of getting this out and opening up the community to say it's okay.
Okay.
We had 80 people in 3 days.
That's awesome.
So that lets you know that there is a need. And that's just 80 people is a smaller number. We can only fit 63. Okay? Well, we can probably have 100, but don't tell nobody. But it's all right. It is all good because we're really trying to reach our community to let them know. And then we are a safe space. We are a space where you can come. It stays
No
right
judgment,
there. No
right.
judgment. We just want you to understand. And we will have resources, handouts to give to people so they can go and get this help, and get this therapy, get resources. So we got a wonderful lineup. And Shari tell you our speakers.
Right. So we have 3 psychologists who are coming who are actually practicing psychologists. So I do research, but they actually see clients.
Okay.
And they're coming, they're going to answer any question that anyone asks, but they're also going to be providing strategies, right? So they're going to be taking everyone who's there through a meditation exercise that they can then do by themselves. They're going to take them through a journaling exercise because we know that sort of writing down your thoughts helps to get them out of you so they you don't sort of focus on them so much. And
all these people are of color, so it's all right.
Yeah. My therapist is black, honey. Look, my therapist is black, and I love her. I love mine.
There's 2 African American women and a Latina who are coming too.
And that is a key point. She said 2 African American women and a Latina. A lot of people. I'm 31. When people have started grouping African American, Latino, a lot of us face the same stuff in the community, and it sucks because they have all put us in this box and said, when we gentrify, you're on the outside of this. The Latinas are with us, and unfortunately, they're in the same bind trying to get the Medicare and whatever the case may be. So it's important that we don't find opposites or enemies, and that we say, hey, we're going to do the same things. We can create a safe space for everybody. Because a lot of times they're together in their households for their families, and we look, and I know I've said it before, and I'm like, well, dang, they stick together. They have not had a choice. We don't have a choice at this point with how rapid things are moving. So the fact that everybody can come, and like she said, 2 African American and a Latina, that just lets you know that this is going to reach a whole nother level of people who really can feel like they're important.
And we come with the culture coffee. That's the great thing about it. We coming home.
That's right. And then the women who are there are going to be able to tell the men in their lives to come back in June.
Because we haven't went in June.
That's the stigma. Like a lot of men, especially African American men, they're taught to hold in their emotions.
Don't cry.
Don't
be
cry.
Tough.
Toughen up. And with that stigma, you would think that because we're in 2020, that a lot of that will be now distinct and they will be more embraceful as far as getting, therapy. So why is it that you think that we're still not at that mark where
they're more open.
I think it's like that for men generally, not just for African American men. I think we're just taught to talk more, right?
Yeah, we
share
talk a
more
lot.
with our friends.
Yeah, because I talk a lot.
Yeah.
I talk a
Whether
lot.
it's good or bad.
Right.
Yeah, we just
you
talk.
don't want a woman
I
to
be
hold
wanting to
it
get
in, 'cause we all
everything.
know it can happen, right?
Yeah.
Just say it.
You know it can happen.
Social
Atomic.
media now has really tarnished the men. The way that they are portraying these men, and now we see a lot of our childhood heroes, and not even the hero per se. You can go from Bill Cosby to Kobe. You can go whoever you want to go with. A lot of these men are getting in situations that we just, him, not him, and it's like people are still human.
Right.
We have a lot of
Right.
mental health
Right.
issues going
Yes, we
on
do.
amongst the stars, and
That's
I was
right.
just having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and we were going over a lot of stars, from musicians to actors, who have committed suicide. And one of them, I remember being in this movie, and I can't think of it, and I was like, he died? Like, I didn't even know. It almost like it happened, and then it whisked away. And it was like, it has to be a conversation. These are who these 13 and 14-year-olds are idolizing, and they're committing suicide, and they have all the money that, as far as the eye can see. When are we going to come to the realization
it's
that
getting
men
younger.
have it a lot harder than we do, just from the stigma?
Well, that's why we're going to do it in June, and that's why we're putting it out there now, because it takes a little more effort to deal with the men and bring the brothers in.
Right,
Period.
right,
Us
right.
women, we just say, we just going to talk all day.
Yep,
about anything.
yep.
Okay.
We want somebody
Yeah.
to listen,
Yeah,
right?
Go ahead, the
We want
last
somebody-
word and
yeah,
everything.
right?
Going to talk. So we're trying to get it out there to the brothers on June 18th to have the same thing. That's the Thursday before Father's Day.
But the psychologists
nice.
will be men.
But the psychologists will be.
Wow.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
That's
And
good.
who's the moderator?
Bobby Gales from WHUR Radio.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And Renee Nash is going to be moderating the one for the
That
women.
is awesome.
So we trying to
I'm coming out.
bring a
yeah,
high level.
we'll be there.
I'm gonna be in the.
See, now we got 100 people. I told you we was gonna have 100 people. Well, it's all right though.
Don't
That's
count
amazing.
us.
Don't wait,
you
just
know,
come on in.
We just coming.
But we're really excited about it, and I'm so excited about how it actually
That's
came
amazing.
about.
It is amazing. Black-owned coffee shop. y'all.
Yes.
Like, do you understand a African
better than
American
Starbucks.
woman, a black-owned coffee
And then you have
shop,
all these beautiful
and
black
people have probably
therapists coming in the
walked-
building. You can't get no more black excellence than
We
that,
is black.
honey,
We
child.
is black in there.
And they always say it's a straight it
Once
shortage
they come
of
to your
us.
event, they're gonna come back not only for the coffee, they're gonna come back
Oh,
and
yeah.
know
Yes.
that you're hands-on in your business. A lot of times we know our baristas at Starbucks. I know I do. Shout out my baristas on Monroe Street. However, when you can personalize that attention that you get when you go in somewhere, it's not even about spending
It's a
your money.
safe- it becomes
You
a safe
feel as
place.
though your
It is.
money
We are a
is
safe
going
It becomes a
somewhere.
safe place.
You
Yeah.
know,
Safe
and
place.
and that's needed in a community. The fact that you guys are even doing this, and I feel like you guys are gonna get such a great response from the men.
Well,
because-
we want to. We really want to reach the brothers. We need
Right
the
for
brothers.
Father's
We
Day.
need the brothers in our families. We
Yeah.
need the brothers in our
Now,
community.
is this for all
we need
ages
them.
or is it certain?
All
for
ages.
All ages.
All ages. But we start these problems with ourselves at a very young age.
Yeah.
Because it's in our family, so it's in our environment. It's in
Right.
our household. It's everywhere. So yes, we need to start teaching our young people how to deal with this.
Break the
because
chains.
they're
Yeah.
stressed out too.
Mm-hmm.
They're stressed out. They stressed out on a whole nother level. You know, we're grown. We got other responsibilities, so that get kind of clouded in there. But
Right.
see, these are free young people with not all these responsibilities, but they're going through the same changes. They're stressed out. They're stressed out with racism in school.
bullying.
You know, the bullying,
Yes.
all of it. So yeah, and so once we bring in the sisters, the mothers, the sisters, they'll be able to go back to their children,
And teach
their
them. Right.
children,
Right.
their sisters, their brothers, their fathers, and
they'll be
everybody.
able to
We are a
share-
community.
And they'll be able to share some
Right.
of the strategies that they learned at the event.
With them.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
So,
And that's one thing I do like about my therapist. She gives me strategies and she'll text me. Like if she don't hear from me, she'll be like, "Are you practicing what I taught you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm practicing." You know, but I needed that. They gave me that balance.
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
really need, because at first what my doctor told me, because I said, "What? Like, excuse me, I ain't cool. You know, said like that's the
Right.
first thing that I thought. Then I
see,
was
and
like,
this
"You
is what
know
happens.
what?"
That's what stops us from getting
Right.
help or seeking help. Yeah.
Right.
We automatically think like, am I crazy? But once I went in, I I felt comfortable. I felt at ease. I felt like this is somebody, like we became really close. And I'm like, dang, she's even texting me, you know? So I just want us to get out of that. Like you said, the first thing we hear when we hear a therapist or something is like, am I crazy? I ain't crazy. Like, I don't want nobody to, you know, tell me about my life or tell me. So people feel like that.
6 months in as far as therapy.
Yeah.
I said this was a game changer for me. And had I known to do that prior, but once again, in our community, we're not taught to go out and find
I started.
You don't have to be
let's
depressed
pray
or
every
anything.
day.
Right.
That's right.
You don't
It's-
have to
it
be
just became
depressed
a
or
balance for
anxiety.
me, right.
You just had somebody to talk it out through. You might have to have a heavy or make a heavy decision coming up. You may be insecure. The decision may, be life or death situation. But if you have somebody to that you can trust, number one thing, tell it to. Now, like I said, I'm not depressed. I've never been depressed, but I talk all the time.
Right.
And me too also needs that sounding board.
Right.
Okay. I put a lot of time into my shop. I listen to a lot of stories every day. But I see a lot of good magic come through that shop every day. It's magic, you guys. I just want every day.
Yeah,
I
it
am
is.
so grateful that it was me.
And see now, I've been seeing a therapist too, and I thought for a long time I didn't need one. But then it came to the point where, like Keisha said, she was giving me exercises, and I was going home, and I was like, I don't have time to do it right now. And I realized that even though I felt good, I could feel better. And when I started using those exercises, it became, I can still be a good mom and tell my kids, give me 10 minutes, I'll be with you. And I think for me, I try to always do everything. And I realized I can't be good to you, and I can't have good relationships. I can't have a good sibling relationship if I'm not good to me. But I'm so used to people saying, oh, my door's open and people coming to me, but I have to say, give me 10 minutes, give me 15 minutes. I need
and it's all right.
That's self-care. Now
That's
people are posting self-care, and I notice a lot we post and we don't do, so you gotta do
have to do it.
Very true.
That was
good.
me.
Very
Point
true.
right there.
That was me. And I tell my therapist, I call her the wizard. And she laughed. She said, well, why you call me the wizard? I said, baby, because you're going to get me down the yellow brick road whether I want to. and the yellow brick road is the gold. It's all the stuff that we know. My parents have given me all the tools, but a lot of stuff I don't apply until I'm in that bad situation.
Right.
I don't apply everything in the good situation because while I'm on a high, I'm good right
Good,
now.
right.
But when I'm bad,
When you come down from that high,
And
there's always a come down.
And the older I get, I realize that the highs and lows have changed. And it's blowing my mind. A high can be, I'm at work and nothing bad has happened, whatever. But a low can be my manager's in a bad mood and it's going to change my office morale. I don't realize how these things that someone else is going to trigger me. And it's crazy. I was having a panic attacks. I was having the chest pains and everything. And then I realized, like, I'm in control of this.
Right.
I went and got checked out and all of that, but I ultimately realized it was something else going on in me that I felt like I had to keep going, that I couldn't calm down, that I'm not hitting my mark. I'm not moving fast enough. I'm not
putting that pressure on yourself.
Right.
That's the reason why we picked it for this day before Valentine's Day, right? So this is
People
really
get
you
depressed.
take care of yourself first, so that you can receive love from other people, right? So
I always try to tell myself when I'm feeling a certain way, or if I start feeling low, I'll be like, okay, what was I doing then? What made me feel low? Because I don't want to feel that, So I try, like I even told Tanisha, I was like, well, what were you doing when you felt that way? Maybe it's something in what you was doing that maybe you just need to change. So I try to get that in my head. I'm like, what was I doing then? What made me feel that way? Because I have anxiety. I have anxiety really bad. So I'm just like trying to learn how to cope with that and kind of just be like, because I overthink
right.
things.
And it's why journaling helps, right? Because it helps you see the patterns in your behavior.
So I started that and I said, oh my gosh, why have I not been? My therapist, and when I had my last session, she was like, well, have you ever thought about writing your thoughts? And I said, well, no, I haven't, because that's not my go-to. Normally I'll just talk it out, and then after that, if I do have a negative thought, I would try to
push it up.
Right.
So then I started writing out my thoughts, and I'm like, this actually works.
And then to go back and read that. And to go back and read it like next month, next year, whatever.
And see how far you came.
That's good too.
It does.
Go back.
It definitely helps. But one of the things I wanted to ask you was, what are the signs that you should look for, or any person who's dealing with mental illness?
When it starts to affect your life, right? When you feel like it's something you can't manage, you can always call and get help from a therapist, right? DC has a helpline, 988 you can call. You can also, I wrote this down, you can also call the DC Department of Behavioral Health Access Helpline, which is 1-888-7-WE-HELP. And if you just feel like you need someone to talk to, you just call them up and ask them. They'll tell you whether you need additional help or if they think you can manage it on your own.
Okay.
They will do that. When you
start thinking you need help, that to me is
it's
when I know I need help.
Yeah.
Right.
When I'm trying to figure out like, is something wrong? When I'm
but
not
some people
sure.
cover it up as being strong.
Yes.
You
That's
know?
when I knew. I was like, okay, when my kids seen me at my worst stage,
right.
I was like, okay, I have to
Yeah.
do help.
When
And
you
I
feel like
think
you
with
need
us,
I had
we
a
just
death in
try
the
to stay
family,
strong.
and
I don't want to show nobody.
The death in the family
It's
spiraled
to be
me.
strong
out of
from
control.
The death in the family for me, I always knew I kind of needed some little help. I had some issues, but that death in the family where I was like, I got it. I'm going to handle all her business. I can do it.
Yeah.
And then literally behind closed doors, and like she seen me and Keisha seen me, and they were just like, yeah, you're on the floor in tears breaking down. And nobody saw that. They just saw that I'm handling business.
Behind closed
I'm
doors,
getting my
that's the
mom's
high
thing
part. That's the
together.
part we don't want to deal with.
That's what I was just
Don't-
saying.
We don't want to feel vulnerable.
Right.
Don't wait
But we
until
all are that.
something
We all
bad
go through that.
happens.
We
Yeah.
all go
Yeah.
through that.
We're
It's
human.
all good.
We're human.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Everybody at this table is here for you. You can inbox us, reach out, come out
And
to
we're
the
gonna
event.
post. We're definitely
That's
gonna
the
post
most
those
important
numbers.
thing. You know, we're here. Don't wait till something bad happens. Talk to
We
somebody.
will have
That's right.
plenty of resources.
We have
Right.
Plenty of handout resources. Actually, we have another set of young African American professionals actually give therapy session. They'll be at the table. They have an informational. So those who want to first time do it.
And this is your resource, people. This
Yeah.
is what you
Yeah.
can
We
use.
have lists of, we're going to provide folks with journals. They're
Okay.
going to leave with journals. They're going to have the exercises. They're going to have the names of psychologists and social workers and licensed
That is
clinical
awesome.
social
We're
workers.
going to hook you
We're
up
gonna-
now.
That is
We're going to hook you up.
For everybody that can't make it, because as Miss V said, she's already to capacity. Inbox Podjunkie, inbox Pretty Shooters. We will try to point you in the direction of these lovely women, Miss
You can
Shari,
say young.
and then
Lovely young women.
and brown girls. Again, inbox us if you can't come to this event because it's sold out. They did their
But we
thing.
do another. We're going to have
Yeah,
plenty.
yes,
So
right.
we're gonna have another one. Like,
Yes,
get you
we'll
these
have one.
resources, y'all.
We'll have
Right.
as many as we need so
That's
we
right.
can reach as
Many
many
people.
of us and people
Amazing.
I agree.
as
What's
we
the
can.
location of the
300 Riggs Road Northeast, right next door to the Culture
Walmart.
Culture Coffee.
Culture Coffee too. That's
right.
Guys, it is
T-O-O.
beautiful.
Yes.
It is so
And the
good.
drinks are good.
And the Culture good.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
we do. Yeah, we do that too.
Yeah.
We have fun. The thing about it, it's a meaningful place. It's a safe place, but we have very much fun. We have a lot of fun, you know. So it's comfortable for everybody. You can come in, get your therapy, and then still have fun.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, and for you, Miss Shari, if anybody wanted to look you up, do you have social media?
Yeah,
Do
they
you-
can sign up on for the wait list for the event, right? Because we're keeping names and we will keep pushing information out. They can go to on.apa.org/self-care. And my Twitter handle is at Dr. Shari Miles Cohen.
Okay. And just a little bit more insight on the event that's coming up for those who haven't heard it the first time, y'all. This is a magnificent event. We want you guys to come out. Once again, you said you're having three psychologists.
Three psychologists are coming in. They're going to teach us strategies about how to take better care of
We gonna
yourself.
post this.
I'm going to leave with lots of resources. We're going to have great food.
Oh yeah.
We don't know if you
got a
can zoom in
wonderful-
or not, but
Yeah,
we got a
food.
wonderful
Check it out,
chef
you
coming
guys.
through.
Check it out.
Yes.
we'll definitely be posting it on our pages.
Absolutely.
Even if people can't get in, at least they'll get the information or get
Yeah,
the
so they'll
resources
know
of
the
where they
next time.
right of where they can
And
get
our
information.
Instagram is pod_junkie on Instagram. We also have our social group on Facebook. We got the juice. So where can they reach you for?
You can reach me on Facebook and Instagram, Pretty Shooters Firearms. You can reach my website. Again, send me your information, emails. Again, I'm not only a link for classes, but a link to all these women, www.prettyshootersfirearms.com.
Okay, and one more thing, our brown girls
Brown Girls
Go
org.
ahead, Keish, give it to
We're
them.
on Instagram And we're on Facebook, and we're here to encourage and empower, our community. We do community work, so we will be posting all of this information coming up, and we have new events coming up. So you can catch any of this information on any of these wonderful pages.
Culture Coffee too, and that's TOO as in also.
That's right.
Yes.
You better hear.
If you want to miss out on this event, please check it out. Once again, you can hit us up on our Facebook, Instagrams. You have all of our information. We really want you guys to come out. We want you guys to chime in, tune in, speak out.
Yes.
Like let's join together. We have to do better as a unit. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Podjunkie.
Yes, good job.
Catch us on YouTube. Subscribe, Podjunkie. We'll catch y'all next time. See you later.